Welcome to the fourth episode of Beyond the Listing podcast. And today we have a delightful Yulia Drybas, who has established her own cleaning company and now basically services all the Adastra host properties. Welcome.
Thank you for introducing. I'm really happy to be there.
Delightful. And actually, Julia has a very engaging life story. You came from Ukraine because of the war, and you had to start a completely new life here in Canada. And not only that, is that you had a very prestigious position of being legal counsel in the Supreme Court of Ukraine. And, you leave that whole life behind and have to start from basically zero. Can you tell us a little bit about that journey, just a few words that you're comfortable sharing?
Yeah, it was a very difficult journey, and it was very difficult, in the mental sense, to leave my own country, to leave my family, to leave my lovely friends, my lovely job, my career, like everything, which I built for almost all my life, and to arrive to another continent, to start my own new life here from zero. And obviously, I couldn't practice. I'm not able to practice law here. So I have to make the decision, what I can do, what should I do, and how could I grow in this country, in this beautiful country. So, yeah, it was difficult.
Right. I can't even imagine. And you mentioned that you had to figure out what you're going to do here, but how did you get into the cleaning space and how did you start the cleaning business?
Actually, the main thing that when I just arrived to Canada, so I had the goal to get job, like wherever job to start.
Gotta pay the rent, right? And
Yeah, because I have to pay the rent, I have to pay the bill, and it's even more about their socialization. So I need to understand this country, these people, to make new friends, and just figure out how people are living there, and maybe in the different conversation with the people, you can just get some new ideas, what way to choose to growing up.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I used to work in their other ship. It's a very beautiful space.
Oh, it's very beautiful. I love that place.
Love the space.
Shout out to other ship.
Yeah. So, and what I've noticed that there are a lot of students which need the extra job. Also, there are a lot of people who are renting out their Airbnb apartments, and obviously need their turnover cleaning regularly.
Right.
So yeah, I had the idea that it could be a good idea to organize some cleaning team, which are able to do the cleaning for these apartments, to find the clients and just start step by step build this business.
Right. I'm really glad you had that idea because that's how we met, and now I can sleep soundly at night knowing that the properties will be ready for the new guests, because that is kind of a nice segue into the next kind of part, the horror stories, the cleaning horror stories. I've had experience with a few and I'll share them, but maybe you had some interesting stories on your end that you've experienced while running this business.
Oh my God, it was a lot of stories, but
well, you gotta pick some.
Maybe, it's kind of like they're very simple stories. Then you are just going to sleep, and at 2 a.m. you have the message that, oh, hello, Julia, I have the last minute cancellation, or I have the last minute order. So could you send someone at 11 a.m. To do the cleaning?
Yeah, and especially if it's busy season and everything is booked up already, that's not, it's a little bit of a stressful message.
Yeah, and thanks God that there are the few students in my team which are not sleeping at night. So I'm texting and they are always easygoing. Thanks God.
Oh wow!
So it was very helpful.
That's wild.
Yeah.
And you know what? From what I saw, cleaning in this business, in the short-term rental business, can make or break your business. It's literally the most important thing. Period. From the operation standpoint, because if your property is not ready, then who's going to go clean it? The guest is not going to do it, and the guest will leave you a bad review. So who's going and cleaning it? Me. And I don't want to be doing those things. I have better things to do, right? Like there's things that I need to focus on in the business, right? And I've had that situation. You actually came and saved my butt that night where it was the last team that I was using outside of what we were working on. And I was, doing a lot of things distracted. And I remember, hold on, there's supposed to be cleaning at this property, and I never got, because I usually get all the photos, timestamp photos, in order for me to just check. And then I'm like, I didn't get any. And I messaged the person, and she's like, oh my God, we forgot. I'll send somebody now. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. So then I am scrambling. I call you right away, and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, I'm drinking some wine with a friend of mine. I'm like, well, consider saving my butt, please. And then you literally rushed to that house, and with 2 wonderful cleaners to take care of the whole place. I remember 4 of us were just literally going crazy, and we got super lucky that the guest's plane was delayed.
Yeah.
And and I did mention to him that we're doing this, sorry, blah, blah, blah. He was delightful. And he said, no worries. I'm still, like, I'll be there in a few hours. And we had like an hour or something, not a few hours. And we just zoomed through it, and the place looked spotless and beautiful. But I'm like, I don't want to be doing these things. It's too much.
No,
stress.
it's too much.
Yeah, so that's one of my. All right, your turn. Give me another one. Give me another horror story in cleaning.
I would say the horror story, it was then the client didn't pay me. I can't realize that it could happen here in Canada, because like people usually they are following the rules, following the law, and it sounds like something impossible, but it was, and totally I didn't expect it. And after the few times I was texting him and asked that, like, guy, we did a lot of cleanings for you, like 6 cleanings.
Oh wow! So it wasn't just like one time; it was there were multiple.
Yeah, and every time he asked, like, he replied that, oh my God, I'm so sorry, I'm so busy, I have the business meeting, I will send you tomorrow. So the next day, I asked him like, kindly reminding about the year transfer, please do it. Yeah, sure. And then one day he just deleted, blocked.
Wow.
And that's it.
That's terrible.
But I lost a lot of money, my time, because like I have to pay my cleaners from my own, and like it's not okay. And it was like, I don't know. It's for me, it's not about the money; it's about the trust.
Yeah.
Because after this story, it's pretty hard to trust to another people, to trust.
No, I can imagine. And it wasn't like $100, right? And like you still gotta pay the cleaners.
Yeah.
And you're taking that hit, and that you said 6 cleans that could run up to almost $1,000, right? And that's a huge, significant amount of money when you're also starting your business. Like that's horrible. I'm sorry you had to experience it, but hopefully.
But it's experience.
That's brutal. I have another one. I had one before we even met, and that's when I really understood that I really need to look deeper into cleaning and work on making sure that I surround myself with people who have excellent standards of quality service. Because I had a cleaner show up using an app. I'm not gonna, publicly bash that app. And the cleaner came from that app because I told them, you need to send me some new people because I had people steal stuff, et cetera, et cetera. Nothing significant, but it's just, you can't, very difficult to communicate. And then the lady came and I showed her everything, et cetera, et cetera. And then I get a few hours later, like maybe 5, 6, 7 hours later, I have a call from the guest. And the guest is like, why is there like a woman in our unit? I think she's a cleaner. And I'm like, what do you mean she's a cleaner? Like, I'm like, hold on, how is that possible? It's been like 7 hours. It's like 7 p.m. She came there at 12. What? And she's like, yeah, she's all sweaty and shaking. And I'm like, what? And she's like, I need half an hour more. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, what is this insanity? So I call the cleaner. I'm like, what are you doing? And she's like, oh, I'm this. You gave me so much to do. I'm like, to do what? It's a 1-bedroom apartment with a den for 7 hours. What are you doing there? You know what I mean? So, and basically I told her, you need to leave right now. And then I went there personally to meet the guest, and I said, I'm so sorry. And then we realized that she might have spilled something in the bedroom, and it was just strong smell of chemicals that the guest couldn't stay there. I had to put the guest up in a hotel because I didn't want to just say, hey, listen, just cancel this Airbnb. I didn't want to leave them stranded, right? They came and we wanted them to have a good experience, right? So that cleaner cost me a lot of stress, money, etc. How do you clean a 1-bedroom plus den for 7 hours is my question. It's bizarre. She was definitely on some kind of medication or drugs, but it was weird. I mean, I feel sorry for the lady, but like you can't run a business like that. So that's another thing. And the quality, right? Like I had to rewash every. No, I didn't have to rewash the sheets, but I had to vacuum and clean a bunch of places.
Yourself, right?
Yeah. After 7 hours, I still had to do a bunch of those things, right? And I'm like, I'm not in this business to do these types of things, but sometimes you have to. And that's when I also realized is that I need to put together very specific cleaning instructions. That's where you saw my cleaning instructions. You're like, holy shit. While it's 17-page cleaning instructions, and maybe that's not something that you use every single time, but that's something that you teach your cleaning team to follow. And then you maybe make a shorter checklist for every time. But like that wholesome 17-page checklist of how to prepare a property was super important. And the fact that I loved what I loved about you is that you said, oh my God, I love this. I'm going to teach it to my team. And I'm like, holy shit, like she's great. Like she's not saying, oh my God, why are you sending me 17 pages of things? It's like, well, this is great. Let's do it. Right. So that's a very important thing, quality control, because we're all about quality. And
actually you did this work for me, because like I have to do this.
I got to charge
for my cleaners.
That's fantastic. And we deliver high quality service and you are in line with that, which is beautiful. So I guess nice segue into like, what are the challenges that you see when you operate a cleaning team? What are the main things that you observe and that make it difficult for you to run?
Actually, the most challenging is to build a really good, reliable, high quality team. Because like, as I noticed here in Toronto, like everyone wants to get the job, but nobody wants to work. Like people, sometimes they could be not reliable, or they are like, they don't want to learn something. They are doing what they are doing, and they don't want to grow up. They don't want to control their quality.
They don't want to take responsibility, right?
They don't feel the responsibility.
Right.
And like the definition of the cleaning, it's for everyone's, it's different.
Yeah. So I guess that's why you have the 17-page cleaning instructions, in order to get them on the same page from that department, train and get them up to speed.
Yeah, right. And also like it's very challenging that because of the cleaners, they don't feel their responsibilities, and they are not like responsible sometime for their job, so they can cancel at the last minutes. Like
I can imagine that's
or before. So
you need to have contingencies, right?
Yeah, I have just to run and to do it by myself.
Contingencies yourself.
Yeah.
Right.
Also, that's not okay for person who running the company.
Of course, you need to focus on other things, right?
Right. Also, another thing that it's pretty important to be clear with the cleaners, with your staff, about their responsibilities, and also like to make some clear reports.
Mm-hmm.
What I mean like I making the list of the pictures, which they have to do.
Right, and timestamp to make sure that we know that they didn't take it.
Right location, right times, and it's save me the time, so I don't need to go to the location and inspect the all orders, because sometimes like it could be like 8 orders in the same time in different places.
Right. I'm sure you do spot checks on these people, right? But you can't clone yourself and be at 8 places at the same time.
Right. And like sometimes in the pictures, everything looks good. But then you arrive, you realize that the towels are wet. They are old.
Wow.
And looks beautiful, but they are wet.
Yeah.
So cleaner, she doesn't want to, I would say she doesn't want to wait
for the dryer to finish.
For the dryer, so she just roll it and go.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's what it was her last time doing that job.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't expect anything less from you. So yeah.
Yeah, and
so the quality is a big issue, right?
Yeah, and it must be very, very detailed report, because sometimes then I see the pictures of the bed, but I don't see the picture like how it looks like underneath the bed.
Right.
Because it could be like I don't know, some
Dusty.
bottles or some socks underneath.
Right.
And yeah, it's
probably
the guest was not happy
of course.
about that. So
Probably the new ones you go spot check more often, and the ones who've already proven themselves, you can kind of trust them a little bit more, of course, right?
yeah,
And then probably scheduling is another thing. Like you said, cancellations are a big issue,
yeah,
but also just, you have so many orders, especially right now. It's the hot season.
yeah,
It's, we were trying to book a deep clean for this property. And you're like, 10 days out. I'm like, what do you mean? We need to start listening. You're like, sorry, it's a lot of stuff that's happening right now. So scheduling can get really hectic. And like you said, you're human, you're not a robot. You could make a mistake, but that will significantly affect you. So scheduling is probably a bit of a challenge too in this business, right?
yeah. It's very challenging.
I gotcha. So what are the next steps for you? Where do you see this business going? How do you where are you going with this?
So currently, the main point that I should organize the system of the business to optimize the old processes.
Right.
And then, like currently, we are working with the turnover cleaning for the Airbnb apartment, but in the nearest future, I think we will concentrate also in the residential cleaning,
Beautiful.
in the move in, move out cleaning.
Right. When real estate agents are buying or selling properties, they need to prepare it, stage it. Definitely need a deep clean right there.
Yeah. And the next step is going to be the commercial cleaning.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. I think, a phased approach, right? Not everything. And probably, figuring out the operations and all the other sides of it too, right? So you can, because you want to keep that level of service, because it's been excellent. Like I can sleep soundly at night now, knowing that people are going to show up, people are going to deliver an excellent level of service for the 5-star reviews that we promise our clients. It's very important. It's very important to have a partner like that. So thank you for doing all that excellent work, and thank you for coming on here today and sharing a little bit of your life story and the journey you had with building this cleaning business. So it's been a delight to host you. So thank you.
Thank you so much for this conversation.